Do 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 do. All righty, here we go. Test one, test two. Here we go. All right. Test one, test two. All right, that is live. I can close this out. Test one, test two. All right. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hello, can you hear me? Miss Ivy, can you hear me? Test one, test two. Test one, test two. Can you hear me? Want to make sure everything is okay. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Miss Ivy, when you come on, go ahead and let me know where you're from. Where are you? We have someone from South Africa in the house. Miss Ivy. Great. Oh my gosh, everything is working. Wait a few more minutes. I wanted to make sure I got logged in so that we all are able to hear. All right, we have Sammy in the house. Yes, you can hear me. Hey, from the Pacific Northwest. Shout out to Fort Lewis, Washington. Fort Lewis, Washington. Okay, all of my signals are going well. Video resolution seems well. Tiger 22K. By the way, this stream sponsor is going to be sponsored by Tiger 2K20. Tiger 2K20, I want to thank you very much for everything. And I'm going to have you are going to be the stream sponsor today. And I just want you to know if there's anything that you want to say specifically, you will certainly get top priority with what's going on. So again, thank you very much. And you can hear me loud and clear. Wow, okay, that sounds great. All right, we have people coming on board. We're gonna wait a few more minutes because what I wanted to do was to get online to make sure that everything was going well. All right, we have a former U.S. Sergeant here in the house from Danbury, Connecticut. Hello, Mario. Hello, hello, hello. I'm gonna get into introductions and everything else. I'm really excited about this, folks. This is my first live stream, and you have no idea what I had to deal with to figure this out. But hey, like I've always said, I am building this as I fly it, and everything is working well. So we're going to, start in about 5 more minutes. So feel free to let me know where you're from. If you're in the chat, go ahead and tell us a little about yourself and what you think about the movie. And then we will start in 5 more minutes. Just want to give people time to kind of populate on board. I actually saw the movie the second time today as well. No, you are absolutely not a nuisance, Miss Tiger 2K20, not at all. In fact, like I said, I am very appreciative. You are the stream sponsor for today. So if you have a product or anything, you can go ahead and put it in the chat, and I'm going to keep it up there. Okay? So I just want you to know that you are the first inaugural sponsor of my chats. Yeah, we're having people coming in board. We're gonna not it just turned 6 o'clock, and you know how us military folks are. We like to be on time. So if you're just coming on board, go ahead and let me know where you're from, what city, what state, what country you're from. We have folks all over the world that are subscribed to this channel, and I'm very appreciative of that. So how's the lighting? Is the lighting good? Is the sound good? Again, I was trying to figure everything out, and I do apologize earlier for not being able to get online because of the issues. I was working with the software, the OBS Studio software, so I had to get up to speed and teach myself long hours. Okay, it is midnight in South Africa. Oh my goodness. Midnight. Oh, Miss Ivy, I'm keeping you up way past your bedtime. So that means you are what, 4 hours ahead? No, if it's 6 o'clock here, you're 6 hours ahead of me. Wow. Okay. Wow. Everything looking and sounding great to me. All right, well, great. Well, let me go ahead and begin. What I would like to do is welcome you all to my channel. I am Captain Tom Mengesha. I am a retired U.S. Army officer. I spent 25 years in the military, but for retirement purposes, it's actually 23 years. Traveled to various parts of the world, practiced law, handled everything from traffic tickets to double murder cases, everything in between. Now I work for the federal government again. But when I started my channel, it was not as a reaction channel. It was actually to give advice to service members on various topics or interests of the day. And so what I've done is someone gave me a recommendation, if you will, or a suggestion to do a reaction video of Kentucky Rain by Elvis Presley, and I just really enjoyed doing it. So from there, it sprung into what it is today. Within a 30-day period of time, I was able to do all the things that needed to be done to become a monetized channel, and I have really enjoyed doing reaction videos and talking about Elvis Presley. But what brings us here today is what we want to do is we want to talk about the Elvis movie. And to kind of recap, I gave it 4.5 hang tens. You know, my little hang ten. Elvis would do this in many of his concerts. So I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a half for that to signify 4.5 out of 5 ratings. And what I loved about the Elvis movie in particular was the fact that it didn't hide his influence from black culture. Also, it talked about the influence of gospel music on his career. And I often have stated that for me, gospel music is his true ministry in life. Elvis obviously was a great talent. You know, he looked great, great performance, great, just everything, his presence. And I've never believed he stole anything. You know, we all learn from our environment. I learned from everybody. And ultimately, I am who I am. And that was certainly never a thought of mine. And any person who really thinks about these things would say the same thing as well. But I thought the movie was fantastic. I enjoyed B.B. King's, relating Elvis's influence and friendship with B.B. King. But something else I enjoyed about the movie, and that is the dichotomy that Elvis had to deal with. You know, on the one hand, he was being pulled for the secular music, as you all saw in the beginning of the movie. As a little child, he would sneak in and kind of peer in and watch the dancers in one of these, what they call juke joints down south, dancing in that secular music that was playing, and the juxtapose that with the revival tent that was pulling him. So it was like the yin and the yang, and he could have went either way, but obviously he was heavily influenced by the gospel music, and you saw in the movie where it's portrayed as a young child going into the revival tent and hearing all the gospel music and being overcome by the Ruach HaKodesh, or the Spirit, as it was portrayed. I also liked the fact that they talked about Elvis's parents. They didn't hide the fact that his mother had a drinking issue and had a temper issue, and then that's just human. We all have our own struggles that we have to struggle with in life. And if you struggle with something, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means you're struggling with something, and hopefully you do the things that need to be done to achieve those things that can help lessen those issues. Also, dealing with Colonel Parker. By the way, before I continue, let me give some other shout outs of who else have shown up. Mario is here. Elvis was a great movie. TR, hi there. Love the movie and plan to see it again. Yes, TR, I actually saw it the second time today. So I saw it twice. I saw the 11 o'clock showing this morning because I wanted to make sure everything was fresh in my mind so that I could have an even clearer understanding on some of the things I wanted to say. But, it also showed how Colonel Parker was very manipulative in his dealings with the Presley family, with Elvis Presley, even with Hank Snow. He was just a very manipulative individual. And it's that you can relate that to now. So if you have people in your life that are manipulative or try to use who they are to take advantage of, you have to be careful of that. One of his performances that really stood out in the movie, a song, probably it's always been a number one song, a secular song that Elvis has done. And that was If I Could Dream. I have always loved that song, and I never quite knew why, but I've always enjoyed listening to that song. And I believe the portrayal, the reenactment of the 68 comeback special, some people call it the Christmas special. Obviously, it wasn't that, but I felt that was a great performance. One of the things that I want to point out, I've often talked about that I am a huge Elvis gospel fan, but since I've been doing Elvis reaction videos, the videos or the songs, the music that have really stood out for me have been Milky White Way. And for those of y'all who are listening, go ahead and tell me your top 5 Elvis songs. But for me, the list of songs, and I'll break it down to my top 5, but the list of songs that really appeal to me are Milky White Way, Snowbird, Where No One Stands Alone, I Believe, Tomorrow Never Comes, Where Could I Go But to the Lord, Life, and the Grass Won't Pay No Mind, You Gave Me a Mountain, Bridge Over Troubled Water, Polk Salad, Run On, So High, Kentucky Rain, I Wash My Hand in Muddy Water. Now, if you were to ask me my top 5 gospel Elvis tracks, absolutely it would be Where No One Stands Alone. If you are around when I go to glory and someone asks one song that I would want played at my funeral, it would be Where No One Stands Alone. That song just touches me so much. Milky White Way is another one of my favorite songs. Run On is obviously another one of my favorite songs. Bridge Over Troubled Water and Kentucky Rain will probably be the ones that I really enjoyed the most. All right, let me go ahead and read some of the chats out there. I listened to Globetrotting with Trey, but think he was most after the movie. He said the movie showed Elvis mad. Glad's mad and Trey was mad, but you can only get parts of his life in that time. Well, yeah, that's one thing that I think we should, give grace to Baz Luhrmann, and that is you cannot put Elvis Presley's life in one movie. We'd be in there all day. I mean, you could do a movie on just Elvis Presley staying at the retreat with Muhammad Ali. How many of y'all knew that? I don't know if many people actually even knew that during Elvis's career, he actually spent time recuperating, if you will, with Muhammad Ali on one of his retreats. That alone could be a movie, just what happened around that. Or, meeting any particular people, or just dealing with his gospel career or his country career. So there's just so much. I think what Baz Luhrmann did was work with trying to find the best way to at least present to the public. Now, are you all still reading me? Great choices, Ivory. Okay, great. I'm looking at all of my signals. I want to make sure that you guys are still reading me. Can you guys still hear me? Just want to make sure that you all can still hear me. Can you? Everybody still hear me? One of my indicators is very low. So I just want to make sure you can hear me. I could not tell you my top 5. Okay. Okay, someone says Minor in the Ghetto, American Trilogy, Where No One Stands Alone. That's Shannon. Okay, great. You can hear me. Okay, great. For some reason, one of my indicators says it's out or low. But hey, as long as you can hear me, that is fantastic. Okay, I'm going to go through some of the comments on the channel. I'm going to the top. All right. All right, Cheryl is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So shout out to everybody in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So hello, Cheryl, and thank you for stopping by my channel. And Midnight in France. Wow, we have someone from France. Let me see, I'm going to practice this. Hopefully I don't mess it up. Bonjour, mademoiselle. Is that right? Bonjour, bonjour, mademoiselle. I don't speak French. Oddly enough, I speak a little Hangul, which is the Korean language. I love bulgogi and rice. So if there's anybody in Korea, I love bulgogi and rice. All right, let's see. Mario felt the movie was great. Ivy movie was good. Yes, gospel music was his passion. Would have liked to see him sing gospel. Okay. You listen, Tiger listen to. Okay, great. Okay, Ivy, your top 5 are Art of Life, Bridge Over Troubled Water, Suspicious Mind, Milky White Way. Okay, great choices. All right. Mine are In the Ghetto. This is Shannon. In the Ghetto, American Trilogy. And by the way, you know, I love you all out there. You guys have really schooled me on Elvis history. I remember I did a review, what I thought was an old Southern song, but it was actually American Trilogy was the name of the song. All right. Okay, great. Hi, okay, this is from Sergio3. Hi, Tom. Enjoy your channel. It's funny because the words, the chat is like so small. I probably could blow it up bigger, but, you know, bear with me. Enjoy your channel. My top 5 Elvis recordings are That's All Right, Mama. Okay, Money, Honey, Good Rockin' Tonight, Heartbreak Hotel, Since My Baby Left Me, I Had No Place to Dwell. All right, Bridge Over Troubled Water. Yeah, I love that. Love all of Elvis's recording, really. Yeah, that is true. I don't think I've heard a bad Elvis song. There's some I like better than others, but I don't think I've learned a bad one. T.R. Cooper, If I Can Dream, that is absolutely one of mine. We Call on Him. You'll Never Walk Alone. I absolutely love You'll Never Walk Alone. I love that. Can't Help Falling in Love. I Wonder If I Love You. And Mario says I sound fine. Great. Well, what can you all tell me about your top moments of the movie? What would you like to share, and what Elvis has meant to you over the years? CC Radar, Beach Blues, I Gotta Know, American Trilogy, and Can't Help Falling in Love. And that's Dwayne. Dwayne, thank you very much. Where are you from, Dwayne? For those of y'all just coming on, let us know where you're checking in from. All right. Elvis's early life was sped up. Okay. Yes, you agree. Okay, this is Sammy. Saw the Elvis movie Thursday evening and loved it. And this is Sunji. Have already pre-ordered it on iTunes and might see it again tomorrow. Now, why do you think people are seeing it multiple times? Tell me something that you learned from the movie that you didn't know, or something that you really, what was it about the movie that you enjoyed? Dwayne is from Massachusetts. I've never been to Massachusetts, have I? No, I've never been to Massachusetts. There's several places in the United States. It's funny, I've been many parts of the world, but there's several places in the United States that people are surprised I've never been. I've never been to New York City, never. Um, let's see. Ivy grew up with Elvis gospel records playing in our Christian home, but us kids used to pocket money and bought the secular records and play them with my when your mom. Now, are you talking about Elvis secular records or just secular records in general? So Dwayne is moving to Maine. Sergio is from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Green Bay. Okay, Sammy, that's a very good point. We're watching the movie again because there's a lot going on. I agree that, I saw it again the second time and I just enjoyed it just as much the second time around. The acting, I could really hone in on various scenes of the movie. And again, this movie obviously could not say everything of Elvis's life, but it certainly will give someone inspiration to look further and learn more about Elvis and what he meant to the culture, because Elvis is actually a cultural phenomenon. And Tiger 2K20 saw it twice because it was so fast. Okay, fast paced, missed some details. Originally from New Jersey, Sammy is Mario Russo. Top 5, depending on the mood, but today they are, and that's a good point, depending on the mood. However, Never Stand Alone, where no one stands alone, that's way up there. I don't know if that one and I Have a Dream, I don't think they'll ever change out of my top 5. And I'm talking about from anybody, from Jackson's Temptations, Stevie Wonder, the Beatles, Alabama, Fleetwood Mac. Those 2 songs are on the top, my top 5. Mario, How Great Thou Art, 1977 version, Suspicious Minds, 1970, and Wonder You. Okay, that's Mario's top 5. And Miss Ivy says, Elvis records they surround in the movie were great. You're going to see it again tomorrow the second time. All right, a lot of people are going to see it a second time. And you saw the Elvis movie Thursday, Dwayne, a Thursday night with your wife. She does not get emotional with movies, but she did get with this movie. We both liked. That is something. That's true. I got emotional in this movie as well. And you know what's funny? I actually, when I saw Forrest Gump when it first came out, I got really emotional. I'll tell you guys a little secret. I actually cried during Forrest Gump. Don't tell anybody that. That's just us. Just y'all watching this. Don't tell. But I did when I had Forrest Gump. And by the way, Tom Hanks is in that too. But Forrest Gump was a movie that I actually got emotional in as well. By the way, I'm from Madison, Wisconsin. TR. All right. Well, shout out to Madison, Wisconsin. Now, Mike, the 68 comeback special and the 1970 Vegas performances were unbelievable. Oh, absolutely. And as I was saying earlier, the recreation of the I Have the Dream, If I Could Dream song, I just love how it built up with the horns. Wow, powerful. And I tell you, I have always liked that song. And, even with Elvis, where I grew up in South Carolina, particularly being a black man, I was made fun of as a child. You're listening to Elvis Presley? And I didn't even know Elvis. For some reason, I was just drawn to his music and to his energy, if you will, his spirit. And now I know why, as I really delve into who he is, and particularly by doing these reactions over the past month or so, I've really come to appreciate that. But yeah, those performances were phenomenal. The '68 comeback special, the Vegas tour the tour that was shown around the world, and actually, the Vegas tour, the '68 comeback special, and the satellite Aloha from Hawaii. That's what I'm trying to think of. Those performances, were fantastic. And when we talk about Elvis's performance, I certainly do not want to forget about the sweet inspirations, the hard-working Ronnie Tutt, J.D. Sumner. I've gotten to know these folks as part of Elvis's band. because I've did reviews and done reviews of them, and they are just fantastic. I absolutely love Elvis's rendition of Proud Mary. That's what got me focused on hardworking Ronnie Tutt. He's the drummer, by the way, for those of y'all who don't know. And J.D. Sumner, he is the gentleman with the very deep voice when he sings. I thought that was absolutely phenomenal. That in his what he was the way he sings and how he puts everything together. Something else I noticed in watching this movie with Elvis is that his movements, gestures mean things. I remember listening to He Gave Me a Mountain, and before I knew Elvis, you just see him do all these moves, but he's actually directing the band. So if you all get a chance, watch Elvis Presley's performance, He Gave Me a Mountain, and you will see him directing the band. He's actually, I think he's directing Ronnie Tutt on the drums to be more powerful and kind of bring out that bass because he's actually standing pretty much right in front of the drums and he just gets that energy. He's very, they say Elvis may never have written any of his music, but he very much was part of orchestrating the performances, the concert, and everything else. I picked up on someone in the back, the actual band director, was trying to direct the band, and Elvis was doing his thing. I'm like, that guy doesn't even need to be up there because Elvis is really, running the show as he should. It's his. All right, let's go back to reading some more of the chats. You loved how Mike talked about, he loved how they show, okay, I got to learn how to read. I love that they showed, my markers are going. I loved how they showed how black people impacted him inside and just music. He loved being around them, and it showed in the movie. Oh, absolutely. And, think about this, folks. We got to also think about the time period this was. In the 60s, there was still segregation. My black behind couldn't, drink at certain water fountains, very early in the 60s. And certainly I wasn't born in the 50s, but in the 60s, I couldn't do that. Even in South Carolina, I went to law school in Michigan, but the University of South Carolina didn't even integrate their law school, I believe, until in the 70s. I'm like, wow, that is crazy. That's insane. But so Elvis was doing all these things with black folks, during a time when there was segregation. He wasn't running from it. He embraced it. And I think that's wonderful. We are all stronger when we come together. I love being around good people of all races, nationalities, sexes. As long as you're a good person, I'm all for that. And the fact that what I wanted to say was that Elvis and Muhammad Ali had a wonderful friendship connection. And, for people to accuse either one of them are racist, they're just what they would call haters, so to speak. All right, let's go back to the reading. I wish they did some scenes from Aloha from Hawaii. That was the biggest draw on television. Oh, absolutely. Dwayne Hathaway, you're absolutely correct. But I think, again, the purpose, you'd have to ask Baz Luhrmann, but I think the purpose of the movie was to get people interested and do more research because actually the more you read, just like me, and I focused on nothing but Elvis for the past 6 weeks and I'm still learning things. There is no way they could have put everything in the movie, but I think there was enough for someone to say, who is this guy Elvis? I heard he was a racist. I heard the only thing he said, the only thing black folks can do is shine his shoes. And then they watch this movie and like, something doesn't sound quite right, and so you learn, you do your research, and I would encourage you all to do your research on anything and learn things for yourself. So that's what I think the movie ultimate purpose was, to introduce Elvis to a new generation and encourage people to kind of do more research because there's a ton of information out there. I have always joked that eventually I'll get out of the rabbit hole of all things Elvis, but I'm not. I'm in no hurry. I'm going to thoroughly, explore it because it's interesting to me as well. All right, let's see what else is going on. To learn more about Elvis, watch HBO's Elvis, The Searcher in 2018. And then, let's see, T.R. Cooper. I predict that someone else will do another Elvis movie to try to fill in the blanks and delve more. Yeah, absolutely, TR. There's so many ways, there's so much that is to learn about Elvis. There's no way that one movie could accurately tell his story. There's just so much there. I would like to know more about his childhood. Just what made him, and you could even do a whole movie about his time in the military. That's a movie in and of itself. And for those of you all who don't know, General Colin Powell, in his book, in his autobiography, he said he met Elvis Presley. And the way he met Elvis Presley is he was driving, he was Colin Powell, former Secretary of State in the United States. He was a general, 4-star general, for those of y'all who don't know, part of the war. Those were the things that were in place. And he was out at a camp, and they were marching, and Elvis was part of that. And Colin Powell, from what I understand during his autobiography, stopped, and that was his meeting with Elvis Presley. So I thought that was really interesting. Okay, Baz Luhrmann on Sam Bell was very... Yes, I did a reaction to Sam Bell. And for those of y'all who don't know who Sam Bell was one of Elvis Presley's early black friends. And that's on my channel. So for those of y'all who haven't seen it, go ahead and check out my channel. And by the way, if you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. As I'd like to say, what are you waiting for? I'm not going to bite you. Go ahead and subscribe, and also make sure you hit that notification bell to be notified on future uploads. All right, let's see what else. Baz Luhrmann talked about that. Memphis itself has a really cool history. I heard that B.B. King biopic is in the works. Well, that's going to be interesting, and I wonder if they're going to bring any. Now, I've been to Memphis, Tennessee, and I've also been by Graceland, and I will probably do a special tour. Did I let the kid? You didn't hear that either. I may be going to Memphis. Let's just leave it at that. And you'll hear about that later. Let's see. As long as the movie keeps Elvis current, that can only be a good thing. All right, Helen, that is so true. Helen pointed that out. Sammy, I'm sure. Let me see. Sammy the Underwood. Memphis King talking about that. Okay. As long as Kurt Russell was not Elvis in the movie again. Dwayne, why didn't you like Kurt Russell? Okay, Arvin, eat at the arcade, and meals when you go to... Okay, this is where I should go. Eat at the arcade and Marlowe's when you go to Memphis. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Though I think you all are gonna like where I eat at. Well, we'll see about that later. Tom Parker was the reason why Elvis never toured overseas. Very sad indeed. Yes. So for those of y'all, Miss Ivy from South Africa, shout out to South Africa. I've never been to Africa. Man, there's so many places. I've always wanted to go to China. I've always wanted to go to Africa. Where in Africa? Africa's so big, it's a continent. People say I want to go to Africa. What does that even mean? Africa's a continent. South Africa, I'd like to go to Ghana. Where else? Nigeria. I did my Ancestry DNA, and I found out that among my top 15 of the thousands of ancestries that you can be, I am part Mali, Nigerian, Western Bantus people of Africa, Scottish, and European Jew. Now, how do all these things get in me? I have no idea. And there's some other things as well. But I've always wanted to go to Africa, among some other places, to include New York City. I've always wanted to go to New York City just to ride the subway. All right. Let me see. Sorry, wasn't... Okay. Dwayne says that Elvis was, or I guess that's Kurt Russell wasn't a good Elvis. Yes, and again, Colonel Parker was the reason that Elvis did not travel overseas, because he was not an American citizen, and I guess he felt that if he left, coming back in, you obviously have to have your passport and things like that. So, again, folks, I don't want to take up your entire Sunday. I want to thank you all, for stopping by. Is there anybody that would have any other questions or anything that you would like to bring out about the movie? And if you all have any suggestions on future live streams, go ahead and leave those comments as well. If you have any suggestions on live stream, if you want to come together often, I started out at one point wanting to be like a news and information channel, like a Larry King or a Roland Martin or a Tavis Smiley or a Phil Donahue. But some folks have said, asked me to stay out of politics or because I guess it's kind of too touchy, or those things. But I also, have changed my thought on how I want to have my channel, and I do want it to be a place of enjoyment and respite of a lot of the madness that's going on in the world. So if you have suggestions on future streaming, or I don't think I'm going to move. I'm not ready to move off of Elvis quite yet because there's so much out there. And as I did my video, my channel in effect was built by Elvis fans, and I also don't take that lightly. Now, there are other great artists that have had a wonderful impact in my life, and I will do them eventually, but I'm not ready to move on to other artists quite yet. All right, so Tiger Movie, get on 6. Okay, Tiger 2K Movie said AM Parker got him the 68 special, but I listened to a video from... No, actually, no, that's not the case. Colonel Well, I wasn't there, so I don't really know. But according to this interview, Colonel Parker did not get that. Elvis really got it. The guy came in and pitched it to him, and then I guess Elvis worked through a middle person because I guess he and Colonel Parker weren't really talking. Man, that had to have been a weird relationship. If I'm the artist and my manager is giving me beef, I'm going to get another manager. But I guess, Elvis was so loyal to a fault. And you know what? I'm like that too, folks. If someone is in my life and they help me at a very low point in my life, I stay in it much longer than I should, and I get burned every time. So, I kind of understand that, but still, no, Colonel Parker, from what I understand, based off of this other documentary or docuseries, Colonel Parker did not get that 68 special. That was actually Elvis listening to a pitch from someone else. All right. Wow, Mike, very interesting in the Billard stats. Let's see. New York is so cool. Haven't been there. You can already pre-order Elvis movie on Wow, already. Sammy tried to pre-order it on YouTube and it won't let me. Really? Okay, yeah, it does. Okay. Wow. Well, again, folks, I want to thank you all for stopping into my first inaugural streaming, and I had no choice but to do this on Elvis Presley, the movie. And today's stream sponsor is, and I want to get it right, Tiger 2K20. So Tiger 2K20, if there's anything you want to say, the floor is yours. And if you want me to review something in particular, because you are tonight's sponsor, send it to me. Give me 24, 48 hours, because you have no idea. I do so much. But hey, I love it. They say, by the way, if you do something you enjoy, you'll never work a day again in your life. And my channel, I absolutely enjoy doing this. All right. Okay. The spammers are alive. No spamming, folks. Come on, be nice. We got children out here. Let me do this. And let me go. I'm going to put this user here. Okay. Great. I was hoping to pre-order it. All right. All right, folks. Well, again, I want to thank you all for stopping by. And with that, I wish you all blessings and blessings. Shalom. Oh, World Traveler. All right, World Traveler, I saw you. You said that you loved the movie. You're welcome, Sammy. You're quite welcome. Brian, see you as well. All right, folks. Again. Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Overton. All right, we still got spammers coming in. All right, folks, come on, keep us. I need to get like some moderators. So if anybody's interested in being a moderator on my channel, because I'm new to this. See, moderators, when you're running a channel, you have folks that spam you with all kinds of stuff. and I can't quite get to them and talk at the same time. But all right, folks, you take care and good night and good day and good morning.